fun.
I did my presentation over my dad. His name is Randy Garner. He is the president of Roofmart International. For his education, he went to Junction City High School, which is here in Kansas, and then after graduating, he went to Saudi Arabia for a year just so that he could help his father out with his family business and so that he was able to just earn some more money before he went to college. When he came back to the States, he married my mom, and then he went to Mid-American Nazarene, and he went there for 4 years to get his psychology degree, which now has nothing to do with his business, but he went to college so he has a degree, which is helpful. For his family history and stuff, like, he worked on a ranch for 2 years after graduating college, and then after working on a ranch, he moved to Colorado because he felt that God was calling him to preach, and because it was such a small community that he had to also help farm because he couldn't earn enough money just preaching, which is actually very common for preachers. But due to the small community, politics and stuff, they didn't like the way he was preaching, so he ended up losing his job and having to find a new way to earn his money. He talked to his dad a lot, and his dad said, my brother is no longer going to run the company in Kansas, so if you wanted to take over, you could. And we all ended up moving to Kansas, and just so that we could help my dad run his business. He took over the presidency after a year or two from his dad because his dad lives in Texas and he couldn't take over the presidency, so it just worked out that my dad could live in Kansas and be at the business every day. He's had this position since 2002, which has been 8 years. He is literally the boss. He tells everybody what to do. He makes sure everything runs smoothly, like tells the people how to mix the chemicals for the roofing company and who to sell to, and just it's hard to explain, but he literally has to keep his hand in everything. If something goes wrong, he will be the one to take the blame, and he'll be the one to have to fix everything. He has to travel a lot because he's the only one who knows everything about the company, and so he has to go to sell. He goes to a lot of trade shows, especially in Las Vegas. He has a yearly trade show he goes to, and it's a week long, and he just sits at a booth and tells people why they should buy his material and how they will use the material to make their roofs that much better and more insulated. He has to hire and fire the people, which is the one part about his job he extremely dislikes. He doesn't like to fire people because he usually gets close to his workers just because he has to work with them every day and he has to see them all the time, and he knows their family and he knows they need the job, and it's just really hard on his conscience because he doesn't want to fire somebody. His salary pays pretty well, especially during the summers and springs, but he also has to cut his own salary because he has to make sure everybody else gets paid the exact amount they're told they will be paid, and that he can't always afford to pay himself the way he would like to because roofing companies, it's really hard for them to sell and get jobs during the winter because of how cold it gets and the weather. You can't really put together a roof in the winter because it's snowing or just the wind is too bad. But in the spring they definitely do well. He usually has jobs every week that he has to go to or that he has to send somebody to make sure the job gets done properly. Well, he's very experienced at roofing. He has literally done it since he was 15 years old, and now he is 45, so his father has been in the roofing company for 40 years at least. He started off just literally going and doing the roofs himself. Like, it's not shingles, he does corporate, which is a lot bigger and better roofing, so that pays better, but the jobs take a lot longer, and he has to literally take and lay out the thing and make everything flat. And he also when he went to Saudi Arabia, he went because of the roofing company. It is an international company, and it makes money so that things will be better. His father and his sorry,
Okay.
but his father has a lot of friends in the roofing business because of how long he's been in it, and his father also has two brothers who ran the company with him and branched off and made other companies. My dad's brother and sister are also in the roofing business. They each own their own company, and so like my family is really deep into this, and they just really seem to enjoy it for the most part. I think my dad is the only one who doesn't enjoy roofing. He just does it because it's a well-paying job. Like I said earlier, he took over the job because of his uncle, had to leave because of family matters, and then he lost his last job because of all the politics in the town. And another reason he did is because we were tired of Colorado. It was like, we didn't live in the Rocky Mountains, we lived on the plains, and it was just really boring, and my dad was like, okay, I think it's time to move out, so we came to Chapman, Kansas. He is really hoping to retire soon. We've been trying to sell that company because it's just too stressful for him, and he's always wanted to preach more, and if he can't preach, he wants to go into making pastors' camps. Slide.
Okay.
I don't really think I want to get into the roofing business just because my whole family has been in the roofing business, and it'd be nice to do something new. But I think it's a good way to get, like, for me, if I wanted to go find a job, I could easily find a job in the roofing company. Other than that, I'm a girl, and females don't do as well in this company. But I haven't really thought much about it because my dad doesn't want me to go into roofing. But if it comes down to it, I will go into roofing just because it will be a job I can get into quickly and hopefully get a nice salary.
Okay.
Sorry about